This week on the PrecursorCast, Tess sings the Bye Bye Birdie intro.
I'm not doing it.
It sounds just like her.
No.
Militus proposes a new balance change that includes increasing the one slot sack to 20. And the Precursor Guild launches an assault on something or another, but Boom wasn't there. It is time to wind it up. This is episode 11 of the PrecursorCast.
You're listening to the PrecursorCast with Tess, Militus, and Boom.
Well, all right, everybody.
Cool.
That was very cool.
How is everybody doing?
Awesome now.
I know, huh? That was cool. So I have to. We're just gonna have to start off with a shout out for the new little intro thing. So that was done by a listener who created that intro for us, which I thought was really cool. Now I don't make this stuff up. I can't possibly make any of this up. The listener's screen name. Okay, so don't blame me. Send all your angry letters to somebody else. Okay, his screen name is Mike Hunt. Now, he made that little voicing for us, and I thought it was really cool, actually. I really did it. And he also sent a little message along with it. It says, I threw this together to play with the intro music. I realized the end is a little sharp. I could redo or say something different. I like to use it. Love the podcast. Keep it up. And I was like, of course I'm going to use it. And he even re-recorded it to add the Tess, Militus, and Boom thing on the end of it and everything. So thank you, Mike Hunt, for doing that. That was awesome.
Mr. Hunt.
Mr. Mike Hunt. There you go. That was great. I was like, when I saw his name, it took me like 3 or 4 times, by the way. I was just reading it, and I was reading it, and then I was just like, okay, this is like a Simpsons gag here. Yeah. I was like, it took me a while, but we get it, Mike. We get it. So thank you very much for that. So let's go in. We're going to roll straight in to this little game that I invented today. Are you guys ready for another little game? This one's a good one. So you guys know the game Would You Rather?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you...
I have not played it since like college, though.
Exactly. So I'm going to give you, essentially, a situation. And you guys have to choose which one of the two situations you would actually rather do. Okay, so it's pretty easy. So everybody can play along as you're listening. This is going to be really fun. Okay, so here we go. So number one here, would you rather, okay, here we go, have the one slot sack be actually an entire bag slot, or have flying in Corteria? So you only have one of two choices. You can either have the one slot sack be an entire bag slot,
not even close,
or have flying in Corteria. Which one is it? Now
it's not even close. It's flying in Corteria.
I can fly.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, so I set that one, and what I'm doing, I'm easing you into them.
They're usually like, would you rather do one horrible thing or another horrible thing?
Yeah.
Not would you rather have one of these two awesome things.
That's because I wanted to kind of ease you into it, and I thought it was also kind of funny because it was, the one slot sack was involved.
Anytime you bring up the one slot sack, that's funny. So yeah.
All right, so this is another softball, and I'm easing you into them. Okay, here we go. Would you rather be the best player on a losing PvP team or the worst player on a winning PvP team?
Oh, come on. I would much rather be the losing player.
You want to be the worst
player.
You want to be the worst player
on a winning team.
Not me, baby. I'm big fish, little pond.
Yeah, me too.
I want it. I want to
all
beat
the way.
the hell out of the weak players and be like,
be like, we lost, but it wasn't my fault.
Every single time, no.
But I'd be like, it ain't my fault. I was
horrible.
The best. I was the one.
Because that's usually what I am. I usually get the highest score and lose the whole thing.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, I think I would rather be. All right. So now they're going to start getting. We're going to elevate the game a little bit here. Okay, so would you rather eat an ectoplasmic ooze from the plains of Ashford, or a cave spider hatchling from the Caledon Forest.
Now,
So
just
you have
raw?
you have to eat one of the two of them. You got to eat an ectoplasmic ooze or a cave spider hatchling. Which do you prefer? This is a little
Spider.
tougher. This is a little tougher. You'd
I'd rather
rather
eat
eat
a
a crunchy little
Yeah.
cave spider hatchling?
Yeah.
That's gross.
Because the ooze would be all like,
Yeah. But
like
it's
tactile.
ectoplasmic ooze. It might give you superpowers.
I'm gonna agree with Tess purely on nutritional data. Like if I eat the spider, I'm probably gonna get some proteins, some basic nutrients. The ooze could kill me. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with spider. No doubt.
Right. Well, there you go. See, I think the ooze has a shot. It's ectoplasmic ooze. So it may give me some superhero powers.
Anything prefaced with ecto is not something I'm putting in my tummy.
You're not going for that? Okay. Well, that's
Not gonna work.
I don't like spiders enough. There's no way I'm gonna have. Okay, so now we're gonna keep just stepping it up. Here we go. So would you rather streak naked through the Snowdon drifts or
I'd rather do that. You just don't even have to go any further.
the Brisbane
Anytime
Wilds?
I can like run across something naked,
I know,
I'm
but
in.
you gotta
Oh,
go.
he's
You gotta go
asking,
one
like,
in
two
two ways.
different places,
so
though.
you get to streak naked no matter what happens, right? That's a gimme.
Okay, I'm good.
You get to streak naked, but would you rather streak naked through the Snowdon drifts or the Brisbane Wilds? Now think of it. You got super cold, which could equal shrinkage for 2/3 of the show, and then you've got the Brisbane Wilds, right? We got mosquitoes. We got a real what's that show where they're naked, where they're naked
Naked and Afraid.
Yeah, Naked and Afraid. We got a real Naked and Afraid situation in the Brisbane
Okay,
Wilds.
hold on.
Which one? Which
Can
one
I
would you
give a
go for?
fun fact here?
Yes.
What if I told you one of the show hosts here has actually made it to producer level contacts and wanting to volunteer to do that show?
That is fantastic, Tess. Way to go! I didn't realize you were gonna.
No.
You did, Militus.
Nobody.
Really?
I
would-
did.
That is
I straight up did.
crazy. So you were
I
gonna
did.
go on it. You were just gonna go nature survive on the show.
Dude,
Let
the
it all roll out.
interview process, the forms you have to fill out just to even get to the interviews,
Yeah.
insane. I mean, I think I went through probably 15 web pages of forms to fill out. And I want to do it because, as an aside, just interesting talk, but not Gilworth specific. But I'm a psychologist, really, by trade. So I've always wanted to push myself to like crazy extremes and what I could
But
endure.
out of the three of us, you're also way the best person in shape.
Are you
out of
seeing
the three of
Lord
us.
Speedo in shape? Lord Speedo.
You might.
Lord Speedo.
Lord
That's what we're
Speedo.
calling. We're
I'm
just
not
gonna call
quite
him
in
Lord
that shape.
Speedo. I like it.
But I would have no problem. I don't have a problem getting naked. That wouldn't be a big deal. My problem is my wife. She's like, "Are you going to spoon?" I'm like, "Yes, I would spoon." Because
Yeah.
if I'm cold,
Yeah.
I'm spooning with a chick. Period.
Yeah.
In the discussion. She's like,
Oh.
that's not cool. I'm like, it's called survival. Anyways,
Yeah.
sorry
Well-
for the sidetrack, but I thought you guys would think that was funny.
Well,
Yeah.
Tess did have to kiss a guy on stage, so in a play.
I did.
And I have a
I
video
had to
prove
kiss
it.
a guy. You have it
But-
on video? Don't
I do have it
you?
on video. I recorded that whole thing. That was for sure a recording moment because I got to have some sort of a blackmail page. Now, so the form that you had to fill out for this Naked and Afraid, by the way, Mantis, so did it just have? Was it one of those questionnaires that just kind of repeats the answer in different ways? So it's like, would you get naked? And then the next question's like, how naked would you get? And the next question's like, if you were to say have a piece of clothing, would you leave it behind or get naked?
It was, believe it or not, it was a lot about like, what's your educational background? What have you done for a living for the last 10 years? What's your family situation? And a lot of them were health questions.
Right.
Well,
or as
Like,
you can imagine.
because they
Right,
don't want to put you in a bad spot.
So
So
I
there
have
was
an
a
idea.
bunch of those kind of questions. There was very little. Actually, there was a few questions about like what kind of formal survival training, and I was like, not a lot. I pitched it as, hey, stick a nerdy professor out in the wild with
Yeah.
a stranger. That was the kind of the way I was pitching it. But
Well, I have a great idea. So I think one of
No,
my favorite
no,
shows
I know where
to
you're
watch.
going. I say no right,
All right.
now.
So one of my favorite shows to watch is The Biggest Loser. So I think we should combine Naked and Afraid and Biggest Loser. And we should make because this could be a great, right?
Would it be called Naked Loser?
It'd be called
Naked loser.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. So, that would be something. So get on that NBC or CBS or ABC or whoever runs that. That'd be maybe Netflix would pick that up.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, they'd be
But
like,
back to
it's a
your
new
question, so
diet.
Tess, would you rather
Yeah.
be
Which one did
naked
you
with the
pick?
mosquitoes in the Brisbane
Okay,
wildlands?
how
cold.
long do
Or-
I have to run?
You have to streak through the whole zone.
Do I get to choose the direction I streak?
Well, you just got to go through. I don't know. You got to go through one town to the next.
You either have to go north, south, or east, west in a line.
Yeah,
Period.
and you're gonna have to fight monsters. So you got to think about that. You're gonna have.
Okay, I'm going to say Brisbane Wildlands because Snowden drifts.
It's cold.
Well,
Pure
maybe
and simple.
no. I was thinking Frost Gorge and I was
No.
thinking of the water,
You guys
and that
are
would
not
not
taking
be
into
fun.
account.
No.
You can glide, right? You're not taking into account that, right? You can totally just glide. So think about that.
Neither
streaking.
area has a lot of.
You're streaking. You just got to get on top of a mountain and just glide right through the zone.
I think I'd go Brisbane Wildlands.
Brisbane
so.
Wilds. There we go. Which one did you pick, Militus? I don't.
I'm thinking just because I understand the way the muscles work around the prostate and around that part of your body, that I'm going to deal with the mosquito bites.
All right, the
Yeah.
mosquito bites are the way we
Yep.
go. All right,
deal
here we
with
go.
that.
So we're gonna keep stepping it up. Would you rather be super good looking? Sorry, I gotta say this all over again. Would you rather be
One
super
take.
good looking and marry Lord Farron, or be ugly the rest of your life and marry Logan Thatchery? Which one would you rather?
Oh,
So you
Tess,
got
I'm
your
gonna let Tess
choices.
go first.
Your choices: you can be super good looking and you get to marry Lord Farron, or be really ugly and marry Logan.
Would it be a satisfying marriage?
I don't
Hey,
know.
are you kidding? You're putting satisfying in the same sense with Lord Farron?
Yeah, probably.
You've seen
No,
him in
I
the
mean-
Speedo.
I mean, like,
of course it's going
okay.
to be satisfying.
I'm like, is he full in? Because if I choose
I can't even.
Logan,
I can't even continue.
who could have any girl he
Did you
wanted,
hear what
because
you
he's
just said?
so dreamy and awesome, then I don't know. Because if I'm super ugly, I don't know that he would.
The
he would
playback of
stick
this is going to be
around.
epic. It's going to be really good. Yes, Lord Farron would be full in.
Oh, then I'm going Logan. I'd rather be ugly and be with my true love
Logan
Then-
will just be.
than be
Partially-
beautiful and marry a
Okay.
sham.
Logan will be just the tip. All right. Would you rather? Here we
No,
go. Would you rather?
Militus has to be nice.
Oh, that's right. No, I forgot. Militus, you got to go. Okay, sorry.
I would definitely rather be good looking and married Lord Farron. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's an easy choice for me as well. Yeah, it's a win-win, really. All
And
right.
it doesn't matter if it's halfway in
No, it doesn't matter.
or all the way in. It doesn't really matter.
I would prefer less, but I'm just gonna. But it's okay.
Oh my god! I didn't mean it like that. I
Right,
just got
okay.
that. You guys are gross.
It's all good. Okay,
We
so
were wondering. I was wondering, Tess, but go ahead.
yeah. All right. Would you rather?
I meant emotionally, Mr. Professor.
Yes, it was. We totally took it as emotional. That's what
This
we were
is
talking
my
about
time to
too.
be immature. Didn't you know that?
We took it as that too, Tess.
Freud,
We were right there with you. Would you rather have a precursor drop one time, or all of your ascended gear drop at once?
Precursor one time, hands
Yeah.
down.
I'll craft all my
Precursor
Ascended
one
stuff.
time. Yeah, I don't mind bucking through all of
There
the
you go.
craft.
There you
Yeah.
go. That was an easy one. All right, now this one I think is really a good challenge here. The last one, by the way. Would you rather? And I'm gonna do, because I try to keep the show clean. Although you blew that, Tess. You just totally blew that. Okay.
How'd I blow it?
Would you rather make whoopee with a char,
Yeah.
or a Sylvari? Here's the catch: with poison ivy. So
Militus, you have to go first.
you got either or. You only got two ways here. You got
okay.
with the char or with the Sylvari.
So I'm not going
Safari
with the
has
char
poison
because
ivy.
of all the grunting that would go on. Okay, that would repulse me. I couldn't deal with that.
All right.
Just get a muzzle.
I'm gonna go with the Sylvari because my main is a Sylvari, and I would adorn some type of leaf, I would be fine.
Okay, it's gonna be an itchy night. All right. Yeah. Tess, how about yourself? I mean, this is this makes it a little tougher because on one hand it's a cat, and on the other hand, poison ivy.
I'm gonna go with the char.
Oh,
with a
so you could hear this.
Yeah.
Give it to me, baby. You could deal with that.
I would much.
This is the worst show. We're gonna have to
This is
just
horrible.
stop and start over.
We're gonna have to end 17.
Everybody's gonna be like, this is it. All right.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So
What about you,
happens.
Boom?
Boom. This
Which
is what
would
happens.
you do?
Sylvari, poison ivy, I'll
As a
just itch.
father, you know
I'm
this.
good.
Tween son,
Right,
which you
right.
have. Mm-hmm. I have a 10-year-old son, and when we get into these would you rather, it always devolves rather quickly into
it does
something that we didn't want. No, something that his mother didn't want to happen. That's usually what.
Right.
What
Usually that's the case.
So.
Well, there
You
go.
are making me get so excited about having kids around the house at some point. Like, no.
It's pretty exciting. So the would you rather game, there you go. It's complete. That was pretty awesome. I thought it went really well. Maybe we'll bring it back again at some point. So let's go ahead and have Tess tell us everybody how they can get a hold of us, because we have a lot of people that's been getting a hold of us.
Yeah.
And we need more to get a hold of us. But I will tell you this, there's people getting a hold of us in so many different ways. I'm having a hard time keeping track of them. But
We might have to
it doesn't
streamline
matter.
this.
It doesn't matter. You guys just get a hold of us. We're fine.
We'll figure it out.
Yep. Go ahead. So tell them how they can get a hold of us.
All right, so you can visit. Oh, I forgot my me. Okay, you can visit our website at pc.kindofabigdealgaming.com.
Go ahead. Where were you at? You were at the Gmail. You won't even do the segment if Bye Bye Birdie is playing. Yeah,
That just an FYI.
remember, Tess, we're live.
That song was not in the original Bye Bye Birdie. It was added to the film version. It is a bastard song. Just saying.
It sounds like me playing choir bells. I'm not quite sure why.
All right,
Okay,
go ahead. So
enough with the Bye Bye Birdie
how do we get a
song.
hold of us? We are at Gmail. PrecursorCast@gmail.com. All right, I'll stop you win. There you go.
You can tweet us at God. Oh my God. I work with children.
That's a given.
Oh my God. Okay. You can tweet us at PrecursorCast. You can visit our Twitch at twitch.tv/PrecursorCast. Wednesdays live at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. You can Facebook us at facebook.com/PrecursorPodcast. And you can call us at something. 702-625-1337.
And I can't say it because I'm drunk.
This is going.
Sorry.
This is going amazing.
Because I'm tired. I'm sorry, I'm tired.
We are, I don't even know how long into the show, and this is just, I mean, we're like 30 minutes in. We haven't talked about anything Guild Wars 2 related, and we have done nothing but, oh my gosh, this is either going to be the pinnacle of the show where everybody just is like, oh, this is it, or this is going to be the show where everybody's like, yeah, we're not listening to that anymore. All right. Well, there you have it. Let's go ahead and move on and get on to the regular part of our show. Let's talk about our moments of of zen.
I think Militus should go first today.
Militus is going to go
first?
first. That was nice. Okay, Militus, you are up.
So, for my moment of zen, I had hot, sweaty fractal action last night.
Yes. I love it.
I ran 2 fractals. One was a level 10 called Molten Boss, not Motlin Boss as I put in the show notes, but Molten Boss. And another one called, it was a level 8 called Underground Facility. And I've never been to these places before. I started my back piece quest test.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
So I started that. and I had no idea what I was doing. I was running around with guildies like Claw and others that basically carried me through. But it was so cool. Man, these level. Have you guys run these two fractals before?
I don't
not.
think I've run those
I'm
two.
all the way
no.
to 7, so I did
Okay.
not run 8 or 10.
So here's the thing I noticed about this as my moment of zen is if you want some mechanics and you think fractals are this quick, easy thing that you jump in and out of with no mechanics, you're wrong. Like
Oh yeah, absolutely.
these had some
Yeah.
serious mechanics.
You gotta do it
Even
the way
though
they want. Yeah.
we cleared them both like that, boom. It was amazing. And I think I finally figured out why they're called fractals.
Nice. I want to hear that. I don't know why they're called fractals.
Because they're so
for me.
short in terms of
Yeah.
time.
Right. They're not
Right,
designed
wait.
to be the full dungeon run
Yeah,
that takes
they're
all
not
night.
going to be
Yeah.
like a dungeon run that's 45 minutes or 50 minutes or an hour long,
Right.
like the old, WoW dungeons. And they're kind of really quick, and I have more about this in my moment of noobness later about fractals. It's going to be, this episode's going to be Militus Fractals, Militus Fractals. So that's my moment of zen.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. By the way, when we do that, we do call it, and I would like to start this. I think everybody that plays Guild Wars 2 should call it hot fractal action. Whenever you play them, like I've been really trying to do that in chat. Like everything's hot fractal action. So, go out there, get some hot fractal action, run some hot fractals, and have a good time. How about you, Tess? What is your moment of zen?
Well, my moment of zen is actually out of game. It was the fact that I managed to get through this last week without murdering parents. So that was my moment of zen. Basically, I got on last night. I was super excited. I was totally hyped to go and play. And I got literally like 50 seconds before I logged in, I got a phone call from work, and all of these emergencies were going on, and I was all wound up, and I knew the second I jumped into our guild stuff that the phone would start ringing off the hook. So it was just a big load of poo on my end.
You know what?
So
what would help? With
it didn't. I had a horrible week, you guys. You don't even know how happy I am to be here with you.
Well,
you two today.
We're happy
because,
to have you as well.
Let
me
you guys
cheer you.
cheer me up.
Let me cheer you up. Here's the big part. She's running. No, that didn't cheer you up. That didn't do anything.
And Margaret
Yes.
sings from her nose.
Well, that
I
was
logged in, Tess, and
was
and
amazing.
I was like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" I looked at the roster, and it said Tess 45. I missed you literally by 45 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's where I went. I
was
went to
actually what
deal
happened.
with
Yeah.
emergencies at work.
Yeah, you missed
Yeah.
her. You logged on, and then you were like, "Where's Tess?" And I was like, "She left, and she was angry." So, well, we're sorry, Tess, that you didn't get to
That's
join in the
okay.
fun. And we didn't.
And so new guildies who I haven't met.
Yeah.
I swear to you, I actually play
she
this
doesn't
game.
really play. She's never on.
I'm just in work hell right now. So I'll get on soon, I promise, and
All
be able
right.
to actually play.
Well, that was a fantastic
No, it wasn't. It was terrible.
moment of zen. There you go. As for myself, I too was quite busy this week. But it was okay. It was good busy. So I've been playing a lot of PvP, and I ran some PvP, and I noticed there's a PvP vendor over in kind of the center of the little square that you're in. And I said, "What does that vendor have?" And I noticed the vendor was selling wings. And so I went over there. I realized I had the currency for the wings, so it came from my ranked winnings, and I had enough. And so I bought the first tier of the wings from the PvP vendor. Now, I posted a picture for you guys in the show notes, and I wish I was fancy and I could show it to everybody else, but my wings are the ones on the left, and then the wings that you get if you're awesome are the ones on the right. So you can see my little tiny miniature wings right next to that person that has the sweet, awesome,
I see
amazing
them.
wings. I have the little dinky wings. They like slope down, and they're just like,
wings.
can you see? I mean, seriously, they look like little toys glued to the back of me. They don't do any. It's just really pathetic. And then you got these beautiful angelic wings that you actually have to get if you make it beyond. I think it's even beyond diamond level. I don't even know how you fully get it yet. Maybe that should be my moment of noob. But there you go. I have those little super cool wings that I wear proudly,
Nice.
even though it's funny because I don't think anybody else probably wears those proudly. I think everybody else.
Well, I would wear
sees it
them,
as
but
silly.
I can't have them because I'm not at your level.
You
So.
got it. You got a PvP. You got a PvP.
I know, man. I know. Remember, that's my New Year's resolution. I just
Yeah.
have not been holding up.
It's barely
my
an
end on
award
that.
though. I'm just going to tell you that those wings are barely an award because they're just kind of funny. So that'll probably be all I ever get to. But that's okay. There you go. So that was my moment of Zen.
Well, but a quick comment on those. Most of the legendary back pieces that evolve, so you can get level 1, level 2. So, like for example, Militus, our legend that we're working on right now with the fractals, really start like that. The first level is just really small, just little bitty back piece, and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So
Gotcha.
you're not alone. A lot of people have the little. It's not the size of the wings.
It's not.
Boomy.
It's not. Well, I'm happy to hear that, but that's very little consolation when I'm standing next to those gigantic, awesome angelic wings. It doesn't do a lot to console me there, but that's what it was. So there you have it. Well, let's go ahead and move on in to our adventures in noobness that we have this week. So, Militus, kick us off with something that you found was noobish and super awesome because we learned it, and now we're going to share it.
So my moment of noobness relates back to fractals. And again, so I logged in last night. We're getting ready to play, and Tess is gone. And I'm like, I was talking to Grey Rook and Neo, or Grey Rook in chat. I'm not sure if Neo's in chat or not at that time. But I was talking with them like, hey, what do you guys want to do? What's up? What are we going to do? And anyways, Painclaw, it's like, hey, Militus, come run a fractal. I'm like, okay, cool. So I jump in his group, and they queue for the fractal. And they're like, we're going to do level 10. I didn't even think to look at my level, of what I'd accomplished. I knew it wasn't very high. And then, of course, the message pops up in chat. Who hasn't done a level 10 fractal? And I went, me. And I dropped group. Boom. I was like, me, gone. Like, I felt so bad. You know what I mean? I felt so bad. Like, I'd held up their progress.
Yeah.
And then immediately started getting spammed in chat by Painclaw. He's like, come, Militus, no, dude, you can come. It's okay. Don't sweat it. And I'm like, no, dude, I can't come. I haven't done level 10 fractal. He's like, it's okay. If it was above level 20, I would tell you you're right, and you would die because of agony. But because it's not, it's going to be okay. You're just going to get personal rewards that match your level.
Oh, that's fair.
So
Yeah.
I jump in with them, even though I was only level 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I jumped into the level 10 fractal as a completely new player, or new to that fractal, I should say. And believe it or not, it went pretty well. Probably because they carried me the whole time. Like I said, there were mechanics to this. In this one fight we did, you had to go stand on this square to like open a gate. So you get through to the next part. You had to stand on another like square to open the next gate. And I had no freaking idea. They were having to tell me, oh, Militus, go here, go there in the middle of the fractal. But I just pulled out my old druid stick and started healing people and running around. It was a lot of fun. But I learned from the wiki today about fractals a number of things I wanted to pass on as a moment of noobness. If you go into a fractal that's higher level than you are, the personal reward level tracks the current position of the character on the difficulty scale. So it will give you corresponding rewards based on your current level. There are 4 groupings of fractals. I knew there were hard fractals, but I didn't know they were grouped this way.
Yeah, they take them. Yeah.
You got 1 to 20, which are old Milla fractals. They're called casuals. Anything above 20, you have to have agony resistance.
And there's there is a really awesome little chart that shows you exactly how much agony
you need to have before you go into
each.
each one of the
Yeah,
tiers.
it's great.
So from 21 to 50, they call core. 51 to 75, they call veteran. 76 to 100 are the hardest, and they're called master. And I'm guessing you have to have a very high agony resistance level test to do that last
Yeah.
tier. But in any case, I guess my big moment of noob is I just didn't realize, even if you haven't gotten that level, that you could, of course, below 20, that you could still take part in it. So that's kind of cool.
Now,
Didn't know
on that
that.
note, by the way, did you see, I think it was a couple weeks ago, I posted that video of that guy running the level 100 solo.
I didn't. I guess I should have watched
Yeah.
it. He ran the fractal by himself.
Yeah, he soloed it, and it's this YouTube video that I was watching, and it was so stinking amazing to watch him work. Like, it would wear him down, and then he would do all the things he needed to do. He had it exactly planned out, and he just wore the thing down. It was really long, as you can imagine, but it was great. I was just like, that is so cool. But yeah, it was kind of fun. Well, that's really good to know, by the way, and I think that's good information for everybody out there. Run 0 to 20 and have some fun and no worries, and then get into it.
Boom,
Yeah.
we did one in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We did a fractal in 5 minutes. I kid you not. I was like, we jump in. He's like, hey, we got to knock this boss's blue bar down, knock it down,
right.
dead, over. I was like, oh.
Yeah, once you get the
That's it.
mechanic
I
down,
mean,
I
it was
feel
so
like it's
It
not
really,
that bad.
the way that they have those set up really kind of, and I'm sorry, but we all, at least on this podcast, most of our MMO experience is through WoW. So
Right.
I apologize if you're like, we don't want to hear about how you're comparing Guild Wars to WoW. Well, bite me. So, because that's the only way that we know how to compare things. So it kind of reminds me, like 1 to 20 is kind of LFG. It's kind of, looking for group level. There are mechanics. It teaches you what the mechanics are, but it's not hard. 21 to 50, it gets more difficult. It's like more of a normal scale. The, 51 to 75 is more heroic level. Even more mechanics. It's harder and harder. And then the master obviously is that,
Right.
epic level.
That mythic level.
That mythic
But
level
if
that
you get the
I heard of. I've never seen it.
Yeah,
in
me
real
too.
life.
if you actually get the mechanics down, though, they're not so bad. And that would be my other piece of advice on
It's
fractals,
just the
though.
agony.
Don't be scared of them. You can actually go into them once you hit 80, and you can actually start looking at fractals and kind of playing around with them. You do need to learn the mechanics, and you might want to read up on them and everything, but you can do them. Don't be too scared.
The wiki, I wouldn't say it was hard test. Like, it wasn't hard. I just didn't know what was going on. If I had known, if I had read just,
Right.
for 2 minutes prior to entering the fractal, how it works, I would have been completely okay. It was just that they were like, we're running to this square. One person stands on the square. One person goes to the gate. I'm like, where's the boss? Like, what's happening? Who do I attack? And so if I'd read the wiki, if you're going to hit some of these, even on the casual side, if you get some of the higher level, any level fractals, it might be worth your time to read for 2 minutes to get a general overview of what you're about to step into.
Yeah.
That way, if people start shouting out, hey, you go do this, you go do that, you're not totally blind like I was last night in terms of what I should do. So the wiki is a great resource, and they have very short synopses of each fractal and what you can expect. So
Right.
go
And
read
you
it.
can
I
always come
have
run
a
with us.
question.
That'd be fun.
So my question is, because they have those 4 scales, do they have 20 fractals that then are repeated each time?
No, they're not
Are there
repeated.
10? So, like, for example, like you said that you ran the molten one.
Right.
So would I see that same fractal then, just harder difficulty at like level 40?
No, not necessarily. Let me give you one example of this, and that is, let me pull it up here. So if you look at the division, the number 2 fractal you run, and you guys probably remember this, is in the swamp. You remember that?
Right.
Where you have to go to different parts of the swamp, and you have to come back and activate those pillars.
Yes.
You have to do it in a certain sequence to fight the boss. You remember that fractal test? Maybe a little bit.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the-
Yeah.
It's the second one you do.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the second one you do. So in the second tier of fractals, there's also a swampland fractal. It's the first one you do. It's level 21. But you fight a different boss called Mossman. I've never done that fractal, but I guess it's the same map, sort of, but different mechanics.
Got
and
it.
it's sort of like that. Like, for example, the fractal I ran was called Underground Facility number 8, and it had to deal with guns and turrets and stuff. And in level 29 fractal, the next one up, it's dealing with bombs. So, and I think on number 38 in that tier, there's
So it's
you're back
similar,
to guns.
but it's
similar.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't
Yeah.
say that you're going to
Yeah.
get 100. You're not going to get 100 unique experiences. I'm sorry. You're not going to get 100 unique maps.
Yes.
But I think
Very
you
good.
might get 100 unique experiences.
Yes.
Got
there you
it.
go.
I
And
understand.
I think that's fair.
And my one piece of advice when it comes to fractals from a complete noob that has no idea what the hell she's talking about. But let me give you my advice. And it has to do with the agony resistance. You get a lot of the agony drops. Every time you run, you get all the agony resistance drops. I would highly recommend, until you need to put agony on your weapons, on your armor, hold on to all of it, build up as much agony resistance as you need, and then start applying it. And you can also buy from the gem store, you can buy the remover thing that removes stuff out of your slots, whatever that thing is called. And that's what I would use that for, because it is really expensive and really time consuming to make all that resistance.
What I'm planning to do, Tess, I was thinking about that. Like, okay, what am I going to do when I hit level 21? Here's my plan. I've been stacking those agony resistance upgrades, whatever, in my bank for right now because I've been collecting them 1 through 20. And my goal is to pick up. Yeah, Jugs, I am supporting the Superman shirt. My goal is to pick up a couple of ascended rings along the way, either through laurels or through, I believe they drop in some fractals.
Right.
But in any case, pick those up and have a second set of gear to add that resistance to. Not my primary dips set, but a second set. And I'm not going to push into those higher level fractals until I have that second set. I'm not changing my main set of gear. I just don't have that kind of time. So I'm going to keep a second set.
And Grey Rook just told us that you can buy agony extractors for gold in game. So I didn't know that. And just a quick heads up, Mila, do you have an artificer?
I do.
Okay. Then
I do.
the
My
artificers
elementalists.
are the ones that can make those agony resistances. So
Can you buy that for
Have a friend.
8,000 US?
More reason to get that to 500.
you don't even need it at 500. I only have it at like 100 and I can make them.
Oh, I'm at like 290 or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
You'll
cool.
be fine. Yeah. Cool.
Man, this whole talk about agony resistance and everything, it got you guys jazzed up. Like way more than would you rather. I should have done an agony resistance. I should have been like, would you rather have agony resistance or Lord Fahrenheit?
Well,
mosquito?
everyone, boom, you're selling yourself short. Everyone needs a little warm up before we get our full nerd on.
I hear that.
You know what I mean? Like they need a little fun and happy and smile before we get fully nerdy into fractal action. So
There you go. There you go. Well, I didn't really have much, but mine is actually, I've been desperate. I'm still in the middle of my moment. I'm still smack dab in the middle. So I've got this Necro now, and I'm having a blast with him. And I'm trying to figure out which gear I should run. And everywhere I go, they all say a different set. And I've even posted in chat, I've asked other people, and everybody is telling me different things. So I have no idea what gear I should run. And it kind of tells me that there's not one right way, which is cool. I think that's awesome. That's what I want it to be. But I feel like I'm going to do it all wrong. So I'm like waiting to buy Ascended and do all this stuff and craft it and all this. And I'm like going, I don't know what to do. So if anybody out there this week, maybe somebody could help me find where I should go with my Necro. Now, I did some cool stuff in PvP that's worked out pretty well, but I just copied that off a website. But PvE, I'm struggling a little bit with that. So I'm in the middle of it. So there you go. That is my adventures in noobness. Tess, do you have any adventure in noobness?
I don't, but I do have a little. Grey Rook, as usual, is rockin' chat, sitting here going, and oh no, by the way, you can do ... that was actually incorrect. You can do ... God bless you, Grey Rook, for keeping us relevant. But he did say that your back piece,
Yes,
Boomy,
my little tiny one.
You don't just have to get it through PvP reward. You can start crafting stuff.
Oh, well,
rewards that you get from the lower level PvP.
It's so miniature. I don't know. I might just wear that all the time just because, it's like a symbol of my time breaking out of that amber level PvP, which was such a huge accomplishment that maybe I'll just stick with it. Maybe I'll just rock the little wings. That could be how it goes.
I love this song. Yeah!
Everybody, it is now time for the Militus Broke Ass segment with your
The chair's
host,
full.
Militus. Take it away, Militus.
All right, so in this week's Procast segment, we have a new addition to the Cast Shop. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it or not.
Is it the hat that you are wearing now? Is that the new addition? Because that's
I
pretty
borrowed
awesome.
this from Randy Quaid.
Yeah, I was
drove
going to
all the
say
way
it is the
Canada.
Randy Quaid. I thought everybody in Tennessee just got one of those. That was
Well,
just like
we got a
they just
lot of
handed
snow
it
here
to you.
today. So
You cross the border and they just hand you that hat.
Okay, wait. How much is a lot? Tell the
About
person from
3.5, 4
Colorado.
inches of snow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Okay.
I got
Yeah,
wait.
that's
I
not
got
bad for our area.
We got
but
so
I
much
should say
more
this.
today.
It was first ice and sleet and then snow on top of it. So it was very bad. We had lots of wrecks. But anyways, it meant Miller had to go to his Randy Quaid shitter full hat
It's good.
today. So
I like
for
it.
the Broadcast segment, we do have a new addition. And I'm sorry that I have to keep bringing you guys minis, but I'm waiting for them to add some more cool stuff.
There's some
like
cool stuff
gathering
coming,
tools.
by the way. I saw some previews, some data mine stuff, and there's some cool stuff coming.
Yeah, well, we have in the interim until we get the really cool stuff, another mini, and this one's cool because it's mounted.
Yes,
It's in
I kinda
mini
like it.
Zentil Cavalier, and it's this little toad,
Yeah.
this little Zentil toad up on a what looks to
Dung
be like
beetle.
It's a
like a dung beetle.
yeah, it's
yeah.
cool. It's a sweet
And he
beetle.
kind of sports around behind you, and you can get that for
Yeah.
a measly 350 gems, my
which
friends.
I think is a bargain. I like this little
Yeah,
guy actually. I like this one
bargain.
better than the Dickosaurus from last week. Like this one's legit. I really like this mini. I might pick him up. He's cool. And then then we could have a would you rather question. It'll be like, would you rather eat this beetle or right? we can just keep going on that. That'll be perfect. Were there any other things from the Militus Broke Ass segment? Was there any other ways to get broke this week? That's
Well,
it.
of course, I did see in the gym store. Maybe you guys noticed this. They did officially add the 1 slot sack. Did you guys see that?
Yes.
What?
It's there. When we talked about it last
Yeah.
week, it wasn't there.
I thought
Tess.
that they named it.
Yeah, they should just name it the
They
one
should.
slot sack.
What?
They should name it the 1 slot
They
sack.
could
No,
give it a
it's
little
like
frowny face icon.
multiple inventory slot or whatever
Now,
they're calling it.
Chad is going crazy for it. Chad is going.
Yeah,
it was
they like
a
it.
wonderful purchase.
I don't
I
care
love it. I
what-
love it. I'm going to buy all of them.
I don't care what anybody says. I'm not buying it.
No.
There's no way in heck. There's hairs on my body that I'd rather have just ripped right from me than to buy that specific device. I'm not doing it. 700 gems is just nope.
They're gonna have to drop the price. They
Yep.
drop it to about 250 gems. I'll buy them.
Yeah,
400.
yeah.
you buy
Or
it?
the other
Man.
thing they can do is make the Dickosaurus roll over. If
Would
he
you
rolls over, I
rather?
buy him.
Would you rather pay 100 gems for a 1 slot sack, or
No, I want a 700.
4,000 gems for that sniper costume you guys were talking about?
I'd
No,
rather
that thing's
pay-
2,000.
Yeah,
I
it's
know that's
2,000.
what I'm saying. Would you rather pay twice as much?
Yeah, I would
that-
rather I'd way rather have the sniper outfit, and B,
I would too.
if it
I would
was
too.
700 gems and I got I got to use one of my extra bag slots and I got to have a 20 slot sack that went to all my different characters, sold. I'll do it. But 700 for one single individual slot, nope, not gonna do it. I don't care how great everybody says it is.
Hey, I'm curious to
not gonna
chat.
do
For
it.
those of you who have bought it, what do you put in that 1 slot?
Yeah, that's so much pressure.
Is it a buff? Because do you guys? I always stack all my buffing abilities, like in my bank, like crafting buffs, experience buffs,
That's a
stuff
lot
like
of
that.
pressure.
What are you guys putting there? What do you like? Did Neo or Gray say that they had bought it?
I don't know. It all sounds like we're the only ones that aren't going to buy it, but I'm not buying it. So there. So I'm glad though that they were trying to make it upbeat and everything for ArenaNet, and we'll get to a story later that
Meth.
maybe we should be giving them. Jugs had a good idea. You actually, to quote the Saturday Night Live skit. You put your weed in there. Do you remember that skit? You guys
See,
will have
look,
to-
I really look.
Everybody's
like the
young.
cheesy
You
part now,
guys
don't I?
won't understand that, but you put your weed in the one slot sack. That's what you do. All right, here we go.
Thank God. Take this thing off.
Well. We have some news this week. And we're going to start off with a massivelyop.com article on the NCSoft earnings. This is actually kind of interesting stuff. Militus had a WildStar podcast. WildStar Nation was really, really awesome. It was where I first came to know him and did all that stuff. And WildStar had this really, really bright future. I mean, there was a lot of people interested in that game. I mean, it was rocking.
The key word in that sentence was, you said were.
Yeah,
You used
right,
past tense.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. What happened?
Well, it just, here's the best explanation I can give. And we got this from a game developer, the lead UI designer on the project who left. He actually came on to our very last podcast we did. And his words, I think, have spoken more true than any other criticism I've ever heard about the game. And it was basically this. The game was designed for a group of people who no longer exist. It had 40-man raids.
Yeah.
It was hardcore. It was grindy. It was very vanilla WoW-ish, BC-ish.
Right. Kind
And
of a
it was
throwback.
punishing. And that group of people now have kids and careers and no time to spend playing an MMO for 30 hours a week. And so the game is designed that way. And I don't know really how you fix that, Boom.
Well, it seemed like they were trying to do stuff, and when they made the free-to-play transition, it felt like they were going for it. But the earnings call
Report
basically
is
said
not
profits
good.
No.
profits dropped to almost nothing this year. Is the quote. So things are probably not looking great for WildStar. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of happens there, and what's going to actually go. So bottom line is it's not bringing any money. Now, here's the interesting part of the article, though, that it goes on to. It says this. So we're talking about NCSoft really as a whole, which also is part of Guild Wars 2. It says Guild Wars 2 isn't off the hook in the firm's eyes either. So it says the studio says that it expects NCSoft to report slightly disappointed earnings because of weaker sales of Heart of Thorns. So Guild Wars 2 is also on the hook, it sounds like, a little bit. It sounds like the adoption of Heart of Thorns wasn't quite what they were maybe expecting, which could explain why gliding came to Tyria, because I believe that will fix some of that. I really do. I think core Tyria gliding is so important that other people are going to go ahead and get the expansion. So, very interesting, though, that Guild Wars was kind of lumped in there, because I predicted Guild Wars 2 was knocking it out of the park, because I gave them like 8,000 US last year for all of the stuff. But it sounds like they're still struggling a little bit.
Well, I mean, for some contrast, okay. So fourth quarter of 2015, I guess, is this in millions of dollars, I'm guessing?
It's either in millions. I can't remember. They do the millions or they do the Korean currency. So
it's but
50,
in any case,
51,
let's
50
just
the
leave. I guess we'll leave scale out.
Right,
But for example, Guild Wars 2 was represented in the report with 51 Lineage 1.
Yeah.
Lineage 1, guys.
Right.
84.
Yeah.
All
of those other games are a lot more
WildStar, by the way,
popular.
2.
Yeah.
Two.
2 points out of the whole. That was their contribution to the overall revenue. Yeah, it's really amazing when you read that report. And I don't think Guild Wars 2 is any kind of trouble.
No.
I don't think that's the situation. But they do set expectations. I mean, that's the way these calls work. So even if Guild Wars 2 is extremely profitable, they might have set the expectation that it's even more profitable than it actually was. And those earnings, when they're disappointed, because that's what they use for their forecasting and for their planning. So if the earnings are disappointing, they spend a bunch of money that didn't actually come in, and that hurts them. But it sounds like it's not all doom and gloom, because NCSoft has got some big plans, and it's a lot around mobile. So we're seeing NCSoft take some of those games like Lineage, and they're making some mobile versions, and they're starting to bring it there. And I also think another little game, Blade and Soul, might have a little bit of something to do with it. It had a big launch, and Verdict will be out on kind of how it does. Is it going to have a big launch and then slow down? I didn't get the same vibe from the launch that I did with the WildStar launch. There wasn't a lot of talk of it being disappointing. In fact, I saw people pretty engaged in the Twitch streams that I watched of that game. So it could be very interesting. Bottom line is there's a whole lot of competition right now, I think, in these MMOs. There's a lot of games out there. So it'll be pretty interesting. I wanted to talk a little bit, too, about the new Shatterer.
Well, before we move on, I do want to just address some of the chat in chat, which is we 100% support Guild Wars. Obviously, we're doing Guild Wars. We're just including this news as just a little, it was an interesting little report that we saw. No, it was not from ArenaNet. No, we do not have ArenaNet's numbers.
It's NCSoft.
We have parent company numbers.
Right.
So yes, we don't know subscriber numbers. I'm subscriber, but you know what I mean.
It's Daewoo Securities is the company that's making these claims, by the way. So it's Korean investment firm.
It's an investment firm.
Daewoo Securities. So it's they're looking at it as is this a good investment? Should we put more money into it? Kind of a standpoint.
But on the same note, it's not some just fan site or something putting this out. Mm-mm. Okay, there's some legitimacy to this investment firm, or they wouldn't be an investment firm.
But you know what's interesting is it ties in to this whole conversation a little bit. MMOs in the U.S. I don't think are very strong, and WildStar was kind of built as that U.S. MMO. And right now we're seeing all MMOs in the U.S. kind of suffer a little bit. But then you've got, everybody's going, we got to get it in China. We got to get it overseas. We got to get it in Asia. We got to get it over there. And so they're doing a lot of that. And the ones that are kicking butt over there, right, all have the excellent boob physics. Just saying.
We're not talking about boob physics.
Well, that's what it takes over there. That's at least
in the grand scheme of things. So in terms of pecking order in the U.S., I don't have any data to back this up, but I would estimate behind the behemoth that is WoW, Guild Wars 2 is right there in terms of number 2 earnings MMO. I would think, without question.
Yeah,
I can't imagine it is.
So we don't. Please, listeners, don't think that by any stretch of the imagination we're coming on here going, well, Guild Wars 2, their earning report, and who cares? It's an awesome game. Played by awesome people, and right now, in my humble opinion, it is by far, hands down, the best.
And you have to understand
MMO
the difference between
the market.
You have to understand the difference between revenue and profit.
That's true.
You can have really poor revenue and be profitable. So it's just all it really means is kind of what they're going to be doing with some of the other stuff. So so right now, to me, it just seems like, which is probably why we're not going to get a lot of MMOs in the U.S. I don't think there's a lot of new ones coming out in the future. These types of things, which is sad for me. We had that conversation, what it was like 2-3 weeks ago, about that exact thing. So,
and there's also a difference between player enjoyment of a game and player community and how much your fan base is supporting, and what the marketers think the fans are supporting.
Well, let's go ahead and move on to the new Shatterer. So I got to actually see a little bit more about it. So last time we talked, we had mentioned that it was going to come out with some newer stuff, and I didn't actually see all of the. I remember being in the event, but I don't really remember that much. And from what everybody is telling me, it's because it's such a cake fight. You just kind of go and you just stand and you just kind of do your thing, and then it's over and you move on. And so it's on farm right now. And it sounds like they're going to be doing a bunch of different things. I was listening to some other podcasts and things, and I heard that, there could be gliding involved in the mechanic. So there could be some aspect where you have to glide around. I heard there's going to be just a lot of things, but the overall goal with the Shatterer is that it's not going to be just a cakewalk. But at the same time, hopefully not so challenging that you're just like, I can't do it. Right? It sounds like they're gonna find that that nice balance there, and this could be the start of them moving from boss to boss to boss, maybe in that boss train.
Oh, I hope so.
And maybe
Man,
just,
I hope so.
Maybe just doing some cool stuff there, which I think would really be fun. And that's kind of that depth of content. They're going to be able to take an existing system. They're going to use some of the new tools that they have. They're going to take these great bosses and everything and kind of rejuvenate it. I'm all in favor of that, by the way. I love to play that stuff, and I love to go in there. So, the more that they can do that, the better it can be. And who knows what other things are going to be tying it into, but it's going to be awfully awesome. If I can get that out. Awfully awesome. Well, one other thing I wanted to talk about is if you get a chance, in the show notes, there's going to be a link to Wooden Potatoes, and they did a jumping puzzle. And if you don't get this, if you have a few minutes, you're going to want to check out this jumping puzzle, because it's absolutely, I don't even know how you do it. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners have already done it, but it's so stinking amazing. Have you watched the jumping puzzle yet, guys?
Where is it? No, I haven't watched
Show
it.
notes.
It's in the show notes.
Okay.
So you can
I'll have to
link,
watch
you
it.
Can you can just watch to it. But it looked to me to be harder than the snowflake stuff. And they're just jumping. They just raced through it, because it's Wooden Potatoes. They're just like, we got this game on. We got this game on lockdown. Yeah, we don't even think about it. But it was really good. They're doing it while doing a podcast. So they're just like they're podcasting and talking to each other, and they're just like flipping through the puzzle like do. Crazy stuff. Well,
What in the world?
it's time for some shout outs.
I like that.
Didn't you like that?
No.
It's time for
I
some
love
shout.
it.
We have
I
a
love
ton. We have a ton of shout outs. That's the new shout out sound. So there you
That's
go.
a horrible sound. I
There we go.
veto that sound.
No, I support it. It sounds like something from Planet of the Apes.
That's somebody shouting out. That's what that is. Well, the first one is we got a I believe it was Jugs who sent a text message, and he said, "Friend me on Rap Chat so we can send some raps to each other," which I think would have been awesome for the show. But I found out that if you have an Android phone, you can't actually rap chat with one another.
Oh, no.
They don't have rap chat on Android, which is weird because I think Android users are more of the rap chat people because we're such creative go-getters, right? That's why, I did it. So I wasn't able to actually rap chat with Jugs, but it was really nice of Jugs to send that. So maybe one of you iPhone users, I just switched from iPhone to Android here recently, so I can't do it. But maybe one of you iPhone users, you guys can rap chat with him. And that'll be fun. Like, I want to hear Militus's rap because he listens to rap.
No, you don't.
So I want to hear it.
I do. I'm a huge rap fan.
He's the
I
new,
do.
I'll give it a shot.
He's
I'll give it
actually
a
the
shot.
new Slim Shady. So it'll be good.
Come
It'll
on,
be
man.
good.
I'm old school.
You're old school.
I'm NWA. I'm not.
All right. Well,
Slim Shady.
Dre likes him, so they're buddies.
Yeah. Well,
So,
yeah. He was. Didn't he have Dre locked in his basement or something?
Something probably. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? So there's your first shout outs.
Tess is over there just.
There you go. That's
By
the first
way,
shout
I
out.
do, I've got to tell you, we got a really awesome. I got an in-game mail from a very, very nice
Oh
gentleman.
yes, I'd love to hear it.
Said that he loves the show. Joined our guild. He's awesome. But his one thing was like, I do a lot of driving and I listen to my car, and every single time the foghorn goes off, I almost drive off the road. So for safety
good.
reasons, I personally think, don't play it. Please don't play it. Boom. No.
Play what?
Okay. I'm not putting my headset back on because the moment I do.
Well, introduce the next one then, and I'll just I'll leave you to it.
No.
So you can just go ahead and do the next do the next little thing. No? All right. Well, we had Mazrim Sindel, and they said, I just picked up the game over Christmas after about 2 years of not playing, and your podcast has been nice. as an intro to some of the massive amount of new content. So that was a very nice comment. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so very much. I also had another shout out from Griffin the Lost, and they said, I've been listening since episode 1. Thank you very much. That's awesome. You probably aren't listening after our intro today.
You're my favorite, Griffin.
You're our favorite. And I've enjoyed every second of it. It is really cool to hear people with such a passion for the game. Thanks to you guys for bringing more enjoyment to my otherwise dull life. And I feel like they have to have it can't be that dull. Right. Now, this is the funny part. Griffin the Lost sent me this. They sent this message to me in game, and they sent me 2 silver with a message that said, "Don't spend it all in one place." So thank you very much, Griffin the Lost. I haven't spent it at all because there's been nothing to buy. I'm not going to buy the 1 slot.
You can put it towards our guild vault.
That was so nice that she deserves he or she. A shout out. There you go. That was a shout out. That's what we do. We give him a shout out. We also had another gentleman in this would have been Facebook that actually sent a message. Mike Hedgepeth. And he said, guys, played Guild Wars 1 and I loved it. Now I have a laptop good enough to run Guild Wars 2 and I'm loving it. Found your cast and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Informative, fun, and it feels like I'm just sitting around listening to friends. Definitely enlightens my hour-and-a-half work commute. What server are you guys on? So we got him all set up, and I believe he's now part of the guild. At least I think I'm not positive. So
and he talks about transferring servers, but just another short moment of noobness. I had a conversation with one of my gamer friends who played WoW with me years ago.
Yes.
And he had the same kind of comment. He's like, "Hey, I want to play with you, but what server do I need to transfer to?" I'm like, "You don't." Like, unless we're doing World v. World, you don't. Right. You can do every single thing in the game.
Or if you're on EU, that can be a problem.
But he's very good point. But he plays in North American servers. But yeah, I think for players that played for a little bit at launch and then are coming back, or played WoW and are coming over here, that's often a misconception that people have, is that they have to be on the same server, and you absolutely do not.
But in case you want to, most of us, not Boom, but who wants to be on the same server as Boom? I knew you were going to do that, you asshole! They think it's so funny, too. They're sitting there just grinning at me.
It's good. It's good.
He's dancing. What are you talking about grinning? He's dancing.
Yeah, I'm dancing. That's good stuff, man. That's what hockey's one of my sports. I love hockey. There you go. That's where we got that from. Well, those are the shout-outs for this week.
Stop.
And if we missed you, we'll try to get you next week. So maybe remind us or something.
On Stormbluff Isle.
Okay.
And Fort Aspenwood.
Good. I let you get that out. So that was good. There you go.
It's not.
So Tess, do we have any new guild members this week?
We do. Can I say them, or are you going to be mean to me?
I already have a nickname for one of them. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry, I actually thought I was easing into the intro or the outro music, and I didn't. But remember, this show is live. We go one take. This sucker's put up exactly as it was, so it's just what it is. You just get what you get. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We've got.
Can you say the first one?
Yeah, I have to do it carefully. I have to be really gentle about it. We have Mike Hunt. Thank you so much, Mr. Hunt.
Yes, thanks, Mike.
Arius.
Yes.
The Mad Minstrel.
Which sounds like a boss that you should fight in. Yeah. There's like, it should be like some holiday around music, and you should have to beat the Mad Minstrel.
They should build like a jazz music holiday all around like Mardi Gras.
That'd be kind of fun, and they could have the Mad Minstrel.
Yeah,
and he's raining terror down on your beads.
I love this next one. This is very, very witty. It's Healusion. Instead of illusion, it's Healusion. I thought that was cute. And then Sleeping Duck, who I think is the very, very nice gentleman who very kindly asked not to have the air horn.
Sleeping Duck asked not to have the air horn? Because sorry, if Sleeping Duck, I don't want you to drive off the road. You got to keep this podcast at an appropriate volume at all times because you never know what's going to happen. 1 minute, we're just jamming along, and it's not very long. Sometimes I just do a little bit of organ. Maybe. No, wait, hold on. There we go. Sometimes it's just a little organ. A little organ. You guys aren't even following with my jokes. Other times.
I dubbed thee Sleeping Dong or Sleeping Duck. Slip Dong.
So there you go. Sometimes it's just like that. Yes, and we have so many. Remember, you don't want to get a name. We sometimes nickname you. So
don't die, Militus. He's dying.
Yes.
When I first read his name, that's what I read. I read Sleeping Dong or Slip Dong. One of the two.
Don't you have Sling Dong? You have Log Dong. You've got Sleeping Dong. You have dong on the brain, my friend.
I know.
I call it a sling dong. There you go. We're totally getting
You
banned.
join the order of Dong.
We're totally
Sleeping Duck. So you're in good company.
Totally getting banned. It's totally gonna happen. It's totally gonna happen. So did you guys have any other things that you would like to add before we are out on our show of this show? It's gonna be interesting to listen to this one back because this one either went really great or this was just the worst episode ever.
I just want to say to ArenaNet, I really love you.
Yes. Yes.
I love your game.
I love you, man.
Don't ban me.
Ban
yeah,
me.
that's pretty much it.
Nobody's gonna ban you. Nobody's gonna ban you. It's all good. It's all
We
good.
love you. We love it.
ArenaNet's not
this
listening.
game.
And if ArenaNet was listening, the Dickosaurus would already roll over. And we'd have a 20-slot sack.
Yes, we would.
The way God intended. Well, on that note, we are out.